But first, we are very pleased to join via the Zoom connection with Todd Krygsheld, who is the Executive Director of Escape Ministries. He's on the other end of our Zoom connection. Todd, good morning. Hope all is well.
Good morning, Gary. All is well.
Glad you are with us. If you have a question about Escape Ministries, the efforts they have to deal and help with our youth in our area, Todd will be happy to answer it at 616-395-1450, 616-395-1450. A couple of days ago, a celebration by Escape. Tell us all about that and how well did that go?
Oh, it was a wonderful evening. We had about 250 plus people at the Holland Civic Center celebrating what God is doing in and through Escape Ministries. We had our 2022 hero and me, Maurice, share his story and just to hear his dream about, I'm an expelled student dreaming about becoming a teacher and helping kids so that they understand that there is hope. It was really cool. Then we had a mom share about how our summer jobs program impacted her son, developing more confidence, being more responsible around the house. And she shared in Spanish. We had one of our learning coaches interpret, it was just a beautiful night. And then we had Nick Cassidy. He kind of brought it home. He said, hey, if we don't support our kids now, we're going to have to pay later, and that we won't have choices on how to do that. So he really encouraged folks to continue to give and support the ministry of Escape. And we had each of our program people, Taylor, our education director, shared just how our suspension program is going really, really well, helping students get back to school. AJ shared about the summer jobs program, our brotherhood, sisterhood, and after school programs. And then Coach Rubin shared about the difference Westside Boxing is making. And it was a beautiful evening. It was just a great, great night. Good food, good people, and great things to celebrate.
Indeed. And we'll talk a little bit more about maybe the poignancy of the event with you personally, Todd, in a few moments. But again, we'll keep the lines open for anyone who wishes to have any questions about what's going on at Escape at 616-395-1450. I noticed, because I do drive past the Escape headquarters over on 32nd near Lincoln on a regular basis. You guys were selling sunflowers or something? It looked like that was it was a sign there in front of the building.
And there it was. We had a local farmer who said, hey, I have a lot of sunflowers. I'd love to donate those to Escape. So we just set them by the road and had people make a donation to Escape or just enjoy a sunflower if they needed a boost in their day. So that was, we were doing that for a little stint last week or two.
Yeah, I noticed that and I was like, well, between that and the bottles and the cans and all that, any little bit helps, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, every little bit helps. And I just love all the different ways that people can support and get involved with Escape Ministries. And I did a couple of short videos promoting the banquet, talking about how we're better together because we're stronger together. We can have a greater impact together. We can reach further together. We can be more efficient and do more together than by ourselves and all alone. And it's way more fun to do stuff together than just by yourself. And I don't know, I'm 52. I'm still scared of the dark walking by myself. And you can face fears a whole lot better together as well. So that's what we celebrated Tuesday night.
Let's talk a little bit about fall programs. We are a week away from autumn beginning officially on the calendar, and Escape Ministry, and Escape Ministry certainly has the fall activities in full swing now that classes are back in all the school districts.
In a meeting. Somebody was knocking on my door, so sorry.
That's all right. Go ahead and tell us about some of the fall programs.
Yes. So our alternative suspension accountability program has already been in full swing. Began last week, and so we are completing week 2. So we have some great students, and we're excited about working with them and their families, walking alongside of them to help them get back to school. Next week, our after-school tutoring program and brotherhood and sisterhood programs will be gearing up and kicking off, and so we're excited about that. We have some volunteer orientations that are coming up as well, and we had one last night, so just excited about helping people get trained and equipped to work alongside our students and our families. And then, as always, our Westside Fitness and Boxing, it never shuts down. It keeps going pretty much all year long, Monday through Friday, 4 to 7. And I've just actually been in there learning how to hit the pads with Coach Ruben and stuff. And it's a pretty decent workout. So we are excited about the fall and getting things going, having our building full again. And it's just great to see that energy and passion of our students.
You mentioned volunteers, and I know that volunteers are always needed with all the nonprofits, and Escape is no different. What does it take to be a volunteer at Escape, more than just maybe the willingness to help kids? Is that really all it really takes, or is there certain other things that a volunteer really should have?
I think volunteer should be ready to learn, to receive from our students. I think sometimes when we think about volunteering, we think about what we're going to give, but we don't often think about, hey, I wonder how I'm going to be blessed. So to come with a mindset, kind of an asset-based mindset of, and then to come with a vision of seeing students as co-laborers, that they have something to offer. We're not here to fix them, but we have something to offer them. And they have something to offer us. It's a two-way street, and a passion for students. And then, of course, the thing that all volunteers and pretty much everybody is having the time to commit to regularly being here, whether that's once a week or however often, but to make a commitment to be here when you can. And so those are the kind of things that we look for in our volunteers. But it really is just this really desire to say, I want to do life with other people so that we can all thrive and flourish together.
Indeed, Escape certainly does need the capital to be able to continue to many of the programs, and financially that all does help. But more than anything else, just human capital is as much important as it is financial capital for a group such as Escape.
Well, absolutely, because money allows us to do what we do, but money doesn't change people. It's people being in relationship with one another that brings about transformation for all of us. And so it really is that. And I think right now in our world today, probably one of the most precious commodities that anyone has is time. And so when we're able to share that with another person and the value of their time and our time together, beautiful things begin to happen.
Volunteerism certainly Escape would like to be able to get more volunteers. Obviously, a phone call to Escape at 616-396-4481 would definitely be helpful, 616-396-4481. But on the website as well, there's a volunteer button, or shall we say a link to the volunteers, and that's really a good way to maybe get people involved.
Absolutely. Check out on the website. You get to see some amazing photos to learn a little bit more about what we do, but then it also lists the different opportunities that are available and what is needed. There's also kind of outlines the process for you, as well as there's an application you can fill out online that will go directly to our office, and we'll be in contact with you.
A little bit earlier, Todd, we were talking about the festivities that happened back on Tuesday of this week, and a lot of good things that happened at Escape Ministries. And I mentioned in passing that it was somewhat poignant that this event happened for you personally, because you are stepping down as executive director of Escape Ministries. Shall we say the days are being numbered for you at Escape? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So it was a great night, but also just a sad night, because I love what we do here at Escape Ministries, but actually tomorrow will be my last day officially. And I'm going to be going back to school for my master's in social work at Spring Arbor University. And I knew taking the executive director role would mean a different kind of ministry for me. And I thought, well, maybe at 51, I'm ready to not be so in the weeds with students and families, but learning that, no, God wired me to be in the weeds more. So that's where I'm hoping to go. I hope to get into a middle school, high school someday as a guidance counselor, social worker, or in the juvenile justice system. And while I do that, I'm going to be driving motor coach bus. That'll give me the time to study when I need to, and also give me a little a break from full-time ministry as well. So as I move forward. But Escape is in good hands. They have an interim executive director, Linda Jacobs, She was announced Tuesday night, and she was former executive director at Good Sam and has done some other interim executive director work in our community. So we're excited about that. And then we also have a search team that is in full swing, looking over applications and resumes to see who the next person might be that will take the baton, the next leg of the race.
Instead of, it's easy to pose a question of, looking back over your time, and it's been about a couple of years since you were the executive director or tenure there. Yeah. And one would be easy to say, well, all these accomplishments, you escaped at all these accomplishments during your tenure. And it's easy to say, well, you accomplished a great amount in the last 2 years. But I think a better way of phrasing this, Todd, is, and to a certain extent, Tuesday was a good way of doing it, how far Escape has come since you took over as executive director in 2019, 2020.
Absolutely. I think God allowed us over to, as a board, as staff, as volunteers, as students and families, to help Escape make a lot of growth and achievements over these last years together. That's kind of why our theme for the banquet was "We're Better Together." And I think there was a great cohesiveness to what God is doing in and through Escape. And that's going to continue because Escape is bigger than just any person. And the things that God has continued in us and through us are going to continue. I believe God will lead them to the next leader that will help take that baton even further than I could take it. And so I'm excited about that. I'm really excited about partnerships we have and board members we have and staff we have, and some exciting new volunteers that are rising up as well. And just the students and families as well. There's a new energy. It's kind of the new logo as well. It's like, hey, we're connected to our past, but there's some really new and exciting things that are happening, all centered around those words: empower, hope, and belong. So yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head.
Let's talk about the challenges that Escape and similar ministries that deal with the young in our community. What challenges await, in this case, Linda Jacobs on an interim basis, but Escape Ministries overall? What challenges does this ministry face over the next, year or two to try to address the needs of those that will walk through their doors?
Yeah, I think it's the challenges that we are all facing together as a society. I think we're still going to see the impacts of all the COVID stuff that happened over the last year and a half. I think the seeds that were planted in the last year, 2 years, are going to come out in terms of like mental health challenges, anxiety challenges for students. I think we're just only beginning to see those effects as we live into and out of pandemic and different things that are happening. But I think the other challenges, I was just talking with some folks who are young like me, and there was stuff around in our day, but we have instant access to everything happening around the world. So it's not just the stuff happening in our little world, but all over the globe, our students and youth are exposed to the chaos and the things that are happening all over the planet instantaneously. And so not just the stuff that's in your own world, but all around the world can add to that anxiety and mental health issues. So I think that's huge, number one. Number two, I think the continued challenge we have in our community to reach across different ethnicities and races and to see each other as one and break down those barriers as well, I think are going to continue to be challenges that we're facing. And that's why I love Escape, because it brings different people together that might not normally intersect with one another, and realize that we're all created in the image of God and we need each other, and we're better together than if we're all in our own separate little spaces. So I think those will be the continued challenges for all of us actually in escaping that.
One final thing, Todd Krygsheld, and you mentioned about the fact that you are going back to school at Spring Arbor University, and you're going to be doing some motor coach driving in that. But to a certain extent, you're not really retiring from ministry. And I'll tell you why I don't think you are. During your time in classes. Obviously, Spring Arbor does have opportunities, but also as a motor coach driver, you get to interact with people, and it's a different type of ministry. You're not stepping away from it. It's a different type. That's Amen. My observation, having been not a driver, but my years doing hockey up in Saginaw and having to ride buses, and we had different bus drivers, and you get to know them, and they get to know you a little bit, and it's like, there's something there too.
Absolutely. And for me, life is ministry, like you said. There's just different roles or titles we place on that. Somebody can be an electrician or a mechanic, or the ministry you have on the radio. And so I'm looking forward to that, and hopefully letting the light of Jesus shine through me as I drive for folks, and hopefully get them there safely and back safely, and give them the best hospitality service that they deserve.
Stay awake when you do your driving, I'll be honest about
Absolutely.
that. More information about Escape Ministries, go online to escape-out.org. That's escape-out.org. Or you can call them at 616-396-4481. 616-396-4481. Todd, thank you very much, not only for today, but for the time you've spent with us over the last 3 years as Executive Director of Escape. We wish you and your family well on a new chapter in your life, and hopefully our paths will cross again sometime soon. Todd, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Gary. Have a blessed day.
Thank you very much, Todd Krygsheld on 99.7 and 1450 WHTC.